Hi, I'm Alex from the Southern Ukulele Store. Let's talk about Kanile'A ukuleles, one of the famous Hawaiian K brands. 2025 is going to be a big year for them. They've gone back to the drawing board. They've taken the models that have previously been established and the grading of wood that's been previously established, and they have made some important changes. I haven't got a wide selection here, but I've got just enough to give you an understanding of what you will need to know going forward. An older Kanile'A, 2014, let's say 2015, that would have been very traditional. I've got one actually I'm playing for you now while we're talking because I'm clever like that. And a traditional Kanile'A would have been much more similar to a kamaka, a natural finish. That ukulele would have had no UV gloss or any of those features. And the only one of Kanile'A's innovations would have been the original true bracing, which was bracing that made very little contact with the top except for in key points, and it had light holes dremelled into it to reduce the weight. Things have come quite a long way in the last 10 years. Kanile'A have been making platinum models each year where they introduce new innovations to bring ukulele production forward. Does that make sense? So things have kind of naturally progressed in those 10 years, and the platinum's always been a highlight of that. In more recent years, the platinum has become more of a direct thing you would buy just from Kanile'A rather than from dealers, with a few exceptions. And I'm going to touch now on the production models and why they are different in 2025. I have here two K1Bs for comparison. We talked about natural and the older Kanile'As there. So you have the natural series first, and natural ukuleles will typically have a satin finish. They will look more like a traditional ukulele from yesteryear. They'll have select or deluxe koa wood, so less figuring to the wood, less drama as Kanile'A call it. And those ukuleles will be exciting, but on the more affordable side of things. We'll have some of them in the months to come. Then you have the core and you have the pro. The core first is much more like a Kanile'A that we know and love from the last 5-6 years. You have UV gloss finish. You have the true R bracing, which is almost like small structured bracing inside with lots of weight taken out of it. A white new bone nut and saddle, and feature-wise, kind of the standard thing. All core models will be deluxe wood. So Kanile'A used to have select, deluxe, premium, and master grade koa. Select being the plainest, which you'll get now on the natural series. Deluxe, which is what you'll see on a core series model. Deluxe ukuleles typically have straighter grain wood, and they're chosen for their they'll have features to them. This one is definitely better than deluxe to look at because it's got quite a lot of features in the wood. But the typical core model will be on the plainer side, but still have some magic to it. You've got a very fast curing UV gloss finish on the body with a satin neck going up to Kanile'A's open gear tuners on this model, and white mother of pearl details as per a normal K1. The way they've upgraded them with the Pro model, you have much of the similar spec, but the wood is premium grade or master grade, and we'll differentiate them in our listings. This is a premium grade Hawaiian koa baritone. The first and most obvious change is the black tusk nut and saddle. Black tusk is a real premium material. If you were to have this upcharged on a Kanile'A custom model, it's something like $80 or $100. It's a very very refined material, and clearly a very expensive component for reasons that I wouldn't pretend that I know why. It'll be interesting when we compare these in a minute to hear the differences, and we can only speculate really how much of that will be down to this new component. You also have a side sound port on all of the Pro models. And you have something called true reduction, which is something I can't put across in a video here. And it's the main reason that I want to travel to Hawaii and speak to Kanile'A firsthand and show you how they incorporate this into their build process. True reduction makes the instrument lighter. This ukulele is possibly half the weight of this ukulele in my hands. And Kanile'As are light anyway, but you can really feel when you hold both ukuleles. This ukulele is it's very stiff, very secure, very stable, but just feather light, and hard to really know if it's even in the gig bag when you're holding the bag. Let's look at this K1B. So this has the premium koa, the black tusk upgrades there. Everything else detail-wise is the same. So the difference between the core and the Pro is true reduction, black tusk nut and saddle, and this side sound port, as well as a differentiation in the grade of wood they've chosen. So this one is premium. We've got some really tasty master grade ones to show you in a moment. Does that cover it? I've tried my best. This is my 5th or 6th attempt at trying to explain that in 2 or 3 minutes. Let's give the K1B Core and the K1B a Pro and see what you think. Oof. Okay. Now let's directly compare that to the Pro model. Next up today, we're going to take a look at Kanile'A's Oha series. They originally launched the Oha series in 2019. The idea being to make an affordable Kanile'A. They were Hawaiian made the first year. They had natural finishes with a koa top and mahogany back and sides. But for whatever reason, I think sustainability, it was just impossible to pay somebody a fair wage and make a ukulele that retailed for under $1,000. So Kanile'A shelved the Oha series and they went to a small facility in China, very small workshop. They sent koa that they milled themselves in Hawaii over to this workshop, and over the next 3 years, they worked to recreate the magic of a Kanile'A at a more affordable price. So the Oha series, when it launched, a lot of people didn't like that Kanile'A would water down their brand by putting the K logo on a more affordable instrument. This is the second, possibly third batch of Ohas, and they have made some changes. So you can differentiate a Kanile'A from a Kanile'A Oha now by looking at this logo here. So you have the Oha logo inlaid underneath the K brand logo. That's how you will be able to tell the difference between something made in Hawaii and something made in China. Otherwise, the spec of this is similar to a normal K1 now. You have here on the K01ST, solid Hawaiian koa body, top, back and sides. They've used select grade wood for all of these, with an Indian rosewood fingerboard and bridge. That's the first change from a Hawaiian made Kanile'A, which has an ebony fingerboard and bridge. You have plastic bridge pins, and this instrument does have Kanile'A's True R bracing, so it has the lightweight trademarked bracing inside, which definitely is key to the Kanile'A sound. The Ohas retail for half the price of a Hawaiian-made Kanile'A K1. And I would say, being completely fair, rational and reasonable, that you're getting about 70% of the ukulele there for that difference in price. So aspirationally, if you're never going to be able to afford a Hawaiian-made Kanile'A, but you love the look and style that Kanile'A produce, this is a great option. This is going to compete and has competed very well with Evoluthia and Rebel, and some of the Inui Nui models and Ramiro Creations. There's lots of brands here producing things in the Far East that I think this ukulele sits just perfectly alongside. So definitely put the K01T on your list if you're ever visiting us in our store in Bournemouth, or if you're ever visiting Kanile'A for yourself, and give one a try. We have a K01T here and a K01ST Super Tenor. The difference being the shape. The K01ST is wider in the lower bout here, which is to simulate the tonal response of a baritone. So this is kind of like a baby baritone, a tenor scale baritone uke. Let's give the KO1T and the KO1ST a play and see what you think. Next up today, we have a 2025 new release. This is the Kanile'A D1T Pro. The D series, Kanile'A first introduced with their Platinum range, I think 5 or 6 years ago. And this side-mounted sound port actually pushes the sound upwards towards the player when you play. The inside of this ukulele is braced and the instrument is voiced to put the sound in that direction. And they definitely record better in my experience, and I've probably filmed 30 or 40 of these now, from above. I actually got the best results when I filmed the ukulele with the microphone above me. The D series was always reserved for kind of more premium models with really highly figured tops with maybe like a redwood top, and they've done some special editions, but the D1 is a pared down spec kind of K1 level D ukulele. And I think over the course of this year, it's going to prove to be one of the most popular Kanile'A ukuleles out there. This is a D1T Pro, so it has that spec increase upgrade that we talked about before, the black tusk nut and saddle with the side sound port, which only adds to that feeling of the player receiving all of the tone and projection of the instrument, as well as the true reductions. This is very, very light and very, very resonant. Being a 1 series ukulele, like a K1 uke D1, this has white mother of pearl dots, ebony fingerboard and bridge with wooden bridge pins, ebony bridge pins, open gear tuners, and the K logo in white mother of pearl on an ebony faceplate. While we're looking at a 1 series uke, I thought it would be very cool as well to look at this K1-ST Pro. This is the same spec as the D1, a conventional sound hole with a super tenor body. The spec is the same, side sound port, true reduction. This is very light, very, very light ukulele with black tusk, nut and saddle, white mother of pearl with open gear tuners. Kanile'as all have a 38mm nut width with a 30mm string spacing, which is just the most comfortable thing out there for the majority of players, it seems, these days. It's interesting, Kanile'A were the first brand I ever came across when I started here back in 2009. They would have the wider nut. I didn't see anyone using it for the first 5 years. And now when I think about the ukuleles we sell in this shop, out of the 150 ukuleles we have out on display, probably half of them have this wide nut. But in many ways, Kanile'A were the first to really embrace this, with Joe Souza, the owner of Kanile'A, being an 8-string player, probably preferring the wider nut for that reason himself. The K1-ST Pro with the D1T Pro. Let's give them both a play and see what you think. If you're curious, I'm miking this ukulele from underneath. Obviously, it should be this way around. For my sins, I'm left-handed. Those of you that are new to the video, the microphone is just south of the shot here, okay? Last up today, this feels like a treat. These ukuleles are the top production model Kanile'A produce. They incorporate a feature not seen on any of the other production models, usually reserved for platinums or custom ukuleles. This is the KTR-T Pro. I've also got a KTR-ST Pro. We featured the 2024 version of these ukuleles, but these have the Pro spec. I mean, just look at this. I really hope my camera does this justice. This is one of the most beautiful ukuleles I've ever seen. They both are. I mean, just the drama, as Kanile'A call it in this ukulele, the figuring, the texture, the depth. You could look at this for days. It's like looking into the ocean, but koa. The top here is obviously master grade Hawaiian koa on this ukulele. All around, even the sides are beautiful. Even the butt of this ukulele is stunning. You'd frame the butt of this ukulele. You have a black ebony binding, an acrylic rosette, which is an acrylic used in jewellery making. Really textured, deep rosette. Kind of looks like a mixture of sand and white mother of pearl put together. You have the black tusk nut and saddle with the ebony fingerboard bridge and ebony bridge pins. This obviously has true R bracing, as all Kanile'As do. True reduction, which makes it extremely lightweight. But this ukulele also has the body contouring, known as true relief. The true relief enables you to kind of fit the ukulele tighter to your body when you play, without dampening the instrument. You might notice when you play your ukulele sometimes, if you've got like a thick woolly jumper on and you hold it tight to your body, you dampen the sound of the ukulele. The innovation here is that Kanile'A have managed to taper off the side of this body and keep the instrument just flowing and resonating really naturally. This was and continues to be a really premium feature not seen on any other ukulele, certainly no other production Kanile'A at the time of filming in January 2025. You have these gorgeous diamond inlays going up to the Kanile'A logo on the Cobra headstock with the thin line Goto stealth tuners. Kanile'A first used these on the Platinum and went on to use it on the KSRT and limited models since. But I've always loved the tight back angle of this headstock, which enables more, slightly more kind of resistance when you play. So it creates a more high tension experience, which just only adds to the sound that these ukuleles produce. I will just continue to look at the KTR-ST Pro because I don't really want to kind of put this one in the dark either. This is another master grade ukulele, master grade koa, all around. We had two of these. One customer debated for days which one to take, and there was no wrong answer. They were both stunning, but this one is just 10 out of 10. It's a worldie if ever I've seen one. And this is exactly the same as the uke we've just looked at, but with the wider lower bout, a slightly deeper sound when you play. Still got that body contouring there, the true relief. And feature-wise, these are, without going and getting something custom made for you by Kanile'A, these are at the very, very top of the mountain. Let's give the KTR-T Pro and KTR-ST Pro a play and see what you think. there you have it, folks. We've taken a look at a smattering, great word, of the 2025 Kanile'A ukulele options out there. But in the weeks to come, I'm looking forward to showing you what Kanile'A do firsthand. I've worked in the ukulele business for 16 years this year. I've never visited Hawaii. I've got so many friends I've made over the years, and I just cannot wait to get out there, meet the folks at Kanile'A, Ko'oloa, Kamaka, and just learn what makes them special. Having held them and talked about them for so many years and having first-hand experience of the instruments, I'm really hoping that I can give you a snapshot of the people that make them. And I just so incredibly grateful to the folks at these companies for really inviting me out there before the NAMM show this year. These ukuleles and what Kanile'A are producing right now, they are just continuing to innovate, continuing to rewrite the script on what a ukulele can be. I just cannot believe the difference between a Kamaka and a Kanile'A. You know, a Kamaka being the most traditional and producing an instrument that 100 years later can be moved and pushed to its limits and tested. Just so much appreciation has to go out to those folks there, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know in the comment section which was your favourite, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. It's just below here somewhere in the video. Please just subscribe to the channel. It really helps the reach of my store, and I'm forever grateful to you for your kind words and your word of mouth that you give us and visibility we have. I need another coffee. Have a good day. I'll see you soon.